Hey guys, how's it going? Today we are going to be doing some planting. We've got two varieties of shrub, a hydrangea and a Calycanthus, and then also one variety of perennial that's new out this year that we are going to be planting. And while we are doing this, Aaron is going to be working on fertilizing the lawn, and he's going to share that project with you as well. This is what we're looking at right here. The two varieties of shrubs we have are actually varieties we already have out in the garden. We've got the Invincible Sublime Hydrangea, and these are to fill in some spots where we lost a couple. So I'm very excited to get these in. Of course, at the moment, they don't have a whole lot of blooms and things like that on them, but it'll look nice just to have the holes that are out in the garden filled. And then we've got the Calycanthus, which we have several of these. These, let me see if I can, yeah, Aphrodite, sweet shrub is the common name there. And these get quite large, like 5 to 10 feet tall and wide. Zone 5 through 9, and they bloom these gorgeous kind of like burgundy red blooms. And even though they're red, which I usually stay away from red for the most part in the garden, they're a very cool toned red, and they blend in beautifully with everything else I have out in the garden. We've got these in the south garden primarily, and I'm sort of thinking of adding these back in behind the dream stream. So anyway, they're just a phenomenal shrub. And one of the reasons I love them so much is that their leaves have a gloss to them, a little bit of a luster, which when you live in a dry climate, you need all the luster and gloss that you can get. That just makes things look healthier and more lush. And then the variety of perennial we have here, this one's new out this year. Now these do not look like much right now, and it usually takes mine because I have another variety of this. This one's called Whitecaps, Stokes aster. I've got the variety called Riptide, which is purple, in two different spots out in the south garden. And with both times I planted one group of them last year. It took them a while to kind of get their feet underneath them, like to get their root system established enough to make the plant happy up top, like the visible part of the plant. And then I planted more of them out this spring, and it took them most of the season to finally kind of get used to their spot, and now they're looking pretty good. So it doesn't surprise me that these aren't holding in their containers. I have had these all season in their containers sitting in the high tunnel, but they will benefit from getting out into the garden. But they've got really beautiful blooms. Maybe we'll stop by some of the Riptide variety that we have out, because their flowers get absolutely huge, and they get about 2 feet tall and 3 feet wide. So it's a substantial sized perennial. I cannot remember the zone 5 through 9, and they bloom pretty much throughout the whole summer. Oh, we had 4 eggs today. That's so awesome. It's also a glorious day out today. Our high is 85. Tomorrow I think it's 81, and then it goes down into the 70s with like overcast is called for and some rain. It's gonna be so nice. And you can see Aaron's project right here. Looks like he's ready to roll. He's got the fertilizer in here. I can smell it when I get close. And here comes Benjamin. You ready? Yeah. What'd you find? You find a peach pit? You gonna plant it? There you go.
I'm gonna plant it in here.
Okay, perfect weather for planting. All right, here is our first stop. You can see the hydrangeas here. So this space right in here, we already have quite a number of these hydrangeas. There's what, 3, 6, 9, 10. 10 in here, well, 11 including this one, but we're gonna replace this one today. It's just struggling. I wanna put something that's looking a little more lively than that in its spot. I've also got a hole right here, which I'm reserving for another Renaissance reflection birch. Hopefully we can find one at some point. These two are so big though, it's gonna be hard to find one that matches, but I really wanted a trio of birches in here, and then I wanted it completely underplanted with these Invincible Sublimes. And we did try the creeping Veronica in this space, and you can see it just did not take, which is so odd. I guess it's just a little odd. I know why it didn't thrive in here. This spot had way too much drip in it last year, and it didn't get rectified quick enough. So I think we just rotted it out in this area, which the hydrangeas would do fine in that, because these get so much sun in this area. They are really, I mean, some of them get sun all day long. The ones right here, right immediately underneath the birch trees, get a little bit of protection in the afternoon, and they'll get more and more protection as these trees get bigger. But anyway, the Veronica did not appreciate the amount of water this area had, so it just kind of languished and eventually died out, while in other spots that we have it in the garden, it's flourishing and doing beautifully. So let's go around the corner here. You can see there's Veronica that's doing a little bit better, and the hydrangeas looking pretty good. They were a bit iron deficient earlier on this season, and I know that they've been treated with iron quite frequently. This one still has a little tinge of iron deficiency, but the rest of them look really good. So my plan is to pop a new one here And then I had, well, maybe I just lost two, but I had one here. And then I wanted to add one more kind of to this hedge, I guess. I guess you could call it a hedge. Oh, good, I have my shovel. All right, we are gonna pop this one out first. Easy. And we're gonna go in with this big, beautiful one. Oh, so much better. Oh yeah. All right, so we just need to get these three in the ground. I'm gonna be using my shovel because I just realized I did not load my augers up. So we'll plant these three and then probably go grab the augers for the next part of our project. All done, and it looks so much better. Oh my goodness. To see a healthy plant sitting here instead of that struggling one. And then two more to kind of finish out the whole idea over here. Now we do still need to move this arbor. It got kind of late in the season, so we decided to hold off, but we are going to pull the rocks back about this far and redirect so that it lines up with the pathway in the formal flower garden. It's just not something we thought about because when we put this in, we still had row crops going on in here. We had no touch of formality in this space, but look at how gorgeous. Like, can one have too much purple? I don't know that that's possible. Look at how pretty it is in here. That the play and the blues and the lavender and the pollinators are just loving it. Both of these plants, they just flock to them. So anyway, that said, I kind of want to wait until the pathway has been shifted and the trees have been shifted before I decide what to plant right here or whether or not I'm going to plant another one at the end. In fact, when I just planted this one, I planted it back just a couple more inches than these other two because I know this part of the walkway is going to shift in a couple inches. And something else that I really love in this space is that grass. That is a type of miscanthus. I don't remember if that one's cabaret. It looks an awful lot like cabaret. It's the same type of grass that I have up front by our front door. And I cut that one sort of in half and moved a section of it out into the south garden last year. And then I think I've got 5 of them sitting in the high tunnel that I want to pop out in the dirtlands because they're so striking and so magnificent. I mean, just one of them is magnificent. Look at that thing. Oh my gosh. Come around this way and take a look. Look at that grass. Oh my goodness. And okay, so we've got some Stokes asters over here. I've got them in another spot too. They're getting kind of gobbled up by the bubble gums, but at least you can see that the plant itself looks nice and there's buds everywhere on it, just about ready to bloom. And look at these purple flowers. Aren't they pretty? Love them. We've got more out here too. It's so pretty right here. I love it. Okay, let's move on to the Calycanthus. Okay, the other Stokes asters are right here real quick on our way out to plant the Calycanthus. So these were looking so poorly this spring that I came in with some dahlias later on and thought, let's just tuck some dahlias between them while they're trying to get their feet underneath them. But my goodness, look at these. Look at how gorgeous these plants are looking and the flowers. Oh my word. Look at this. Isn't that just the most beautiful and unique looking flower? And honestly, these pinkerific dahlias are so glorious. And I'm going to miss these incredible sunflowers so much when they're done for the season. I have enjoyed this spot so much. I mean, this whole lane has been such just a colorful, fun blend of plants. Okay, we're gonna head out to the pond area. For this first one, I was thinking of popping one right over here. I think this would be a really good look right here, and we've got a lot to do in this flower bed. It's pretty open at the moment. We've got a Centara double blue lilac right there and then nothing else. And then on this side, we have the blue spruce and I think it's a red baron or something crabapple. 3 of the Stay Classy sand cherries that stay a lot smaller. like 3 to 4 feet tall and wide, and then some iris we just planted. So I think adding this texture in here would be really, really nice. And I was kind of thinking of adding one in maybe over by the Leyland cypress, and then possibly one back in here somewhere. And because most of this area, especially the space behind the Dream Stream, has recently been mulched, I'm just gonna use my shovel so I don't make a big mess with the auger. All right, Calycanthus number 1 in the ground, looking so nice. I'm really excited about the placement of this one. For the next one, I was thinking of popping it over here in this bed. We do have a Leyland cypress, which in the end, many, many years from now, will fill up this bed. But, you know, in the meantime, we want to have some things in here. So I was thinking maybe like on this side of the hydrant, because it gets pretty good size. I think it'll be a perfect fit for that spot. Okay, let's try this out. Yeah, I think that'll look really good there. Kind of be a nice little focal point for this space and some summer color. Yeah, I think that's a really good look from this angle as well. Doesn't it look good right there? I love that the leaves are bulky enough, like it really shows up. If I was to plant something that had a little less bold foliage, I just don't think it would stand out as much as it does. Not that it has a lot of competition at the moment, but you know what I mean, especially when it's out kind of in a sea of nothing. It just really is beautiful. I love it. Just surveying this space. I think I want to take the last one out to the Dirtlands. When I got these, that's kind of what I intended to do with them. So at least one of them needs to make it out there. Let me tell you what though, you guys, remember when we planted these catalpas this spring? They smell so good and they've gotten so big. Looks like Aaron is reloading the hopper. How much have you done so far?
I have the side yard and the big lawn.
Side yard and big lawn? Nice. Kind of want to pop it on this side. It's looking so much better over here with the mulch. Oh my goodness. But I think if we have something right in here, I don't know, we're going to be coming in probably with an evergreen. So I don't want to put it too close. All right, hold on. I got to think about it. Our blue chiffon Rosa Sharon are looking so pretty out here. Right now, I planted 3 over here and then 3 over on the other side. But look at how pretty. There's another one over here. I think, did I plant them this year? Or was it last year? I can't remember. And then these I think are called Perfect Storm, right? I couldn't remember the name the other day. Look at those. So pretty. It looks like we've got some grass coming up as well. That's not supposed to be here. You know what? Maybe we'll pop it right in here. We've got another Leyland cypress. Isn't that a beautiful, beautiful tree? And then we've got a birch tree here and a crabapple here. Might be nice to have some bold texture back in here. Boy, I see a couple spots where it would be really nice. Maybe over here. There's a little bit more space. Maybe like right in here. I think that would be great. Oh, you know what? What do we think about this spot instead? I forgot we were going to put some arborvitaes possibly right in this spot, but I think this would be a really good location for it. Let's do it. Sometimes the digging is easy out here and sometimes it's incredibly hard. So I'm going to try with my shovel first so I don't mess up this beautiful mulch. But if it's too hard, I might have to go get my auger. Oh, whoa, this is easier than the last hole I dug. Nice. Drier than a bone out here though. That is so pretty right there. We've got a black lace elderberry just to the left that will fill in this area. And then we've left that clear for some more evergreens. Our little blue spruce that we planted that wasn't looking very good in its container is kind of a Charlie Brown number out here. It's dropping needles. You never know though, it might just need a chance to root in, and next spring we might see some new growth on it. So we're just kind of leaving it alone. Oh my goodness. But that is a beautiful, beautiful shrub in here. And since we have a pile of dirt, I'm gonna go ahead and back up and empty out all of our containers full of dirt. As I'm digging holes, when I'm trying not to make a mess, I usually take the plant out of the container and then I fill up the container with our native soil that's underneath the mulch, because usually, you know, I need to displace at least a root ball's worth of soil. So I fill up the container, move it over here to the gator, and then I just pour the soil out when I'm done somewhere else, which this pile is going to turn into a berm in this area, so it works out quite perfectly. Okay, all we've got left to plant are the Stokes asters. Okay, we're back in the Dream Stream area. I thought we would maybe tuck these Stokes asters in this area right in here. This is kind of a newer little spot we planted. I had some yellow yarrow in here, and there's still some yellow yarrow, but a couple of them didn't take. And you can see right here, it's one that didn't take. There are a couple more in here that did take, so those will be really nice. But I thought about just intermixing some of these Stokes asters throughout this space. Maybe like one here, a couple back there. Let's see, maybe one tucked under this crabapple. I'm gonna be lifting this canopy just a little bit, and we'll keep this little trail through this area as well, because we do use it. You know, if you walk up this way, there's the pond, and then you can kind of go through here to, you know, access the back area, or this top area right in here. Look at this. Oh my gosh. This is the blonde ambition blue grandma grass. Blue is in the name. And the Jacqueline Hillier elm, which is already bigger than the tag says it's supposed to get. My parents have one. I think the tag says it's supposed to get like 6 by 6 or something like that. And theirs is massive. It's really big and very architectural. So I'm planning on coming in this maybe late fall, winter, early spring, sometime in the next little bit. And I want to limit up a bit and clean off some of the branches so you can see the architecture underneath the plant. So like this part will be a little bit more open right here. But look at this view from up here. I love it. Oh my goodness. We actually sat out here last night and had a little fire. Oh, and my little fish that Peggy sent out, I need to pop those up a little bit higher. Plants are engulfing them. There we go. Now they can be seen. Perfect. I did go grab my auger, but I think I'm going to use my shovel back in here as well. Keep it tidy. I think they'll get tall enough back here to where they will be seen. It is so pleasant working back here. The sound of the water coming from all angles. I love it. And I think these are going to be really pretty, just intermingled with what we've already got going on. So we've got the one here. Look at this. The drip is going to have to be extended just a little bit more. It ends right here. And then we've got that one in there. I didn't pop another one. I could have maybe popped another one back in here, and maybe I still will. I don't know. There's some sedum that survived all of everything that we've done back here that was here when we moved in. So I just left it. Then we've got this one right in front. Isn't that a really bright, fresh green? I think it just pops in this space. And then there's the two back in here, which, like I mentioned, I think that they're gonna get tall enough to still be seen back in there. And it would be pretty to have them kind of go back through. But as you go further back in, it gets shadier and shadier. But the deodar cedar, look at how gorgeous. We have a tough time with cedars here. Sometimes they take and sometimes they don't. And this one has definitely taken to its spot. It's so pretty. And then right on the other side of the walkway, I just tucked one in right there. And I'll probably do some kind of ground covery thing right here. I think that this portion of the flower bed, when we were excavating for the little patio right here, I think the drip got cut to this area because everything seems super dry. So I gave everything a drink in this area and brought the hose over and dusted off all of our lungworts. Remember when we planted these? They've been here for not quite one, well, this is their first season. I planted them earlier this year. They're looking really good right here. I love it. And since the last time I showed you this patio area, we have managed to bring over a couple more chairs. I do have a little table I'm gonna put in between them, and I'm just loving this space. We all are loving it. And I've got the plants that came up from this area in a wheelbarrow still. So one of these days here, probably in the next week or so, we'll come back in and relocate those plants and put them back in the ground. But it's so nice to have this space. And you guys, that is going to do it for my portion of today's project. I'm really happy with how everything looks, where it all ended up. So now Aaron will show you what he's doing for the lawn this time of year.
Hey guys, so it's actually the day after I fertilized, but for whatever reason, the camera I was using like corrupted the files and we couldn't edit them. So anyway, I'll just talk again. I didn't really do that much talking, but I just wanted to show you something that is kind of interesting. So I was able to get my hands on some of the new fertilizer from Espoma. This is like the same lawn food, except for it's out of the Pennsylvania plant. And this stuff is less dusty. It looks less dusty coming out of the bag. And the only thing though, is I don't think you'll be able to really tell on camera when I'm actually fertilizing, because my fertilizer spreader is kind of, well, here, let me show you. This thing is a total beast and it's very powerful and it sort of like pulverizes anything that you put in there. So there's like this agitator in here. This thing spins around and it sort of like chops it up and spits it out and it shoots it pretty far. So I'm sure on camera, I haven't looked at the footage yet, but I'll bet, I mean, just from, because I was looking backwards when I was fertilizing, I think you're still going to notice on something like this that there's a decent dust cloud behind you. But honestly, anything that I've ever put in this hopper has looked dusty coming out behind me. So like gypsum is another thing that I put on the lawn. And this stuff isn't dusty at all, but when it comes out, it looks pretty dusty. It'll be interesting when we get our hands on the new biotone. I don't know when that will happen. It could be next year sometime, which is totally fine. The biotone that we have now is fine. And, you know, the dust doesn't really bother me that much, but I do think it's positive if they can eliminate a good portion of the dust, they should. But, you know, you can really see clearly when Laura throws biotone in the hole, you can kind of see that dust cloud. And when we get the new stuff, I think it'll be more drastic that there is less dust. Again, you know, with this, I'm kind of pulverizing the lawn food, and so I'm guessing that it's going to still kind of look like there's a dust cloud behind me when I'm on the lawn tractor. So, and then for anybody who wants to know, I try to fertilize about once a month. I found that works pretty well. It makes things, you know, look great. I have been dealing more this year with fungus than I ever have. And I haven't really talked about it because I don't feel like I've mastered the correct way of taking care of it, I guess. I've been trying a few different products, and I just don't feel like I quite got a handle on it. And from watching people online talk about it, it seems like preventative is way more effective than, I forget what the word is, curative maybe is the right word. But if you can get ahead of it, especially with fungus, I think that you'll have a much easier time. So next spring, I'm going to try to go in probably May-ish, and I'm going to do a preventative application of fungicide, and we'll see how we do. My biggest issue is with the big front lawn, and the other areas haven't been too bad. But anyway, so I'll talk about that next year once I feel like I actually have something to say that is of value. Because right now I'm still kind of like trying things out, and I guess I could talk about what I'm doing, but I just don't want to steer anybody kind of in the wrong direction. Anyway, I'm definitely going to go preventative next year and see if I can get a handle on things. So anyway, I'll talk about that next year, I guess, and we'll see how things go. But I think the lawn is looking pretty good. You'll see it in the drone footage. I'm pretty happy with, for the most part, how it looks right now. And yeah, so there you go. Here's me fertilizing.